Hi, it's Stu, and this video is going to be about next week's TBR. I'm just finishing up my last week, having read all 5 books and now entering my 6th. Last week's TBR challenge had to do with reading female authors, female protagonists, with the titles of 1 word, 2 word, 3 word, 4 word, 5 word, and now I'm going to enter my 6-word title. Absolutely smashing week of reading, which I will make another video about when I review at least the first 5 of those books. So the purpose of this video is just to describe what my challenge is and show you the books and talk a little bit about what those books may or may not be about. Could be some wild guesses of which I could be hilariously wrong. And also just let you know what I might be excited about so I can get excited for this next week of reading. In this next week, I am putting 6 books in. I really want to make space to slow down my pace. So I'm just going to say it's a week, but if it takes longer than a week, I want to be really cool with that. And also, the last book is kind of a read it or unhaul it situation. So I wanted to get it off my shelf in that way and allow for it. I thought it fit well into this week's challenge. So the challenge is to just read the rainbow. Only consideration for what is the rainbow is the most predominant color, as interpreted by myself, of the book cover or dust jacket in some cases. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and then the last one is just a book that I thought kind of fit in with this, and it's a really read it or get it off my shelf, because I'm not quite sure if it's for me. But let's get started. So the first book is Lisa C's Peony in Love. And this is a historical fiction. So I didn't have really any historical fictions on last week's TBR. So I'm excited to kick off this week with an historical fiction. This is very clearly a red cover. And Peony in Love suggests that this is going to be a love story, which is takes place in the 17th century China, in an elaborate villa on the shores of Hangzhou's West Lake. I taught at a university in China in Lin'an, which is a suburb of Hangzhou. So I'm going to have some personal connection with this setting, even though it certainly wasn't in the 17th century that I lived and worked there. This book was published in 2008, and this author has been up for some awards and has some acclaim. I am really excited. It looks like just a little book that could drag me into another world, and I'm excited to see what that's like. Following it in the orange, for the orange, and this is more of a burnt orange, but orange nonetheless, is a book that I have actually, when I first picked it up, I was so excited to read it, and then it just hasn't fit into any of the challenges so far. So there's a good deal of excitement I have for this book. It's called The Sweetness of Water. Apparently this was an Oprah Book Club book for 2021. And Nathan Harris, I believe, he was a recipient of the University of Oregon's Kid Prize, and the University of Oregon is my alma mater, so I have personal connections already. This book is another historical fiction, and it has to do with the waning days of the Civil War, and parallel to this story runs a forbidden romance between 2 Confederate soldiers. So I'm really excited. There's going to be some romance, some queer romance in here, and outlook on the Civil War. The yellow book really has to do with the back cover, because the front, that's what I saw was yellow. The front cover certainly has less yellow and more blue and green. But because what I saw was yellow, I felt pretty comfortable grabbing this as a yellow. This was a book of the month pick, so we know probably trending at some point, in fact, in its publication date of 2017. And it seems like a contemporary fiction about a startup. From what I gathered, kind of reading through the synopsis and about the author, there's going to be some satire and humor, which I think both the contemporary and the satire humor will be great right after those kind of two probably pretty heavy historical fictions. Going on to the green. Until very recently, because I've been thinking about the categories for a while and thought, oh, here are all my green books, for example. I had a different green book picked, but I got this, The Farm by Joan Ramos, quite recently on a little free library book exchange book haul. And this is just a kind of green that really grabbed my eye. I was very speculative. What could those baby buggies mean on the farm? So I was sort of leaning towards dystopian sort of book. I looked it up a little bit, and it is classified as a sci-fi. So that doesn't surprise me. Joan Ramos, I believe, is Filipina American, and there is an immigrant from the Philippines in this story, which adds a nice layer of context and diversity for me. This was published this paperback was published in 2020. And I think coming off of The Startup, I think a book like The Farm, a sci-fi, I just think that it's going to be a great read right afterwards. The final, and the rainbow, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, because I'm not going to cover Indigo and Violet, is so much blue. So it's not only a blue cover, it's got blue in the title, by Percival Everett, who is the beloved author of the very, very, very well-known and much loved work of James. This book is about the art world. There is some foray into El Salvador, and it says that it deals with art, marriage, and dealing with the past. So Litfic, this is a literary fiction, and I think it would be a great way to just kind of round out those selection of 5. So now for my sort of experimental, I think, why I thought it fit into this week is just a black cover. It's just a plain black cover with white, and then just this little bit of blue. And so I just thought in a week where I'm looking at the colors of the covers, this book would fit in. And especially because this book is so contemporary. It's about a celebrity gossip Instagram account. And wow, can I tell you how not in the world of celebrity gossip I am? It's like something, if somebody's like, here, read this book, or this anything about celebrity gossip, I'd be like, there's something for everyone, and that's not for me. That being said, the writing style of this book and some things about this book when I picked it up just said, you know what, give this a try. It's maybe more about creating Instagram account, rising to sort of fame and or having a social media presence, than it is so much about celebrity gossip. And if that's true, then I'm here for that exploration. If I don't jive with this book, quite frankly, if I don't get to this book, I think I'm ready to let it go. Someone will probably love the premise of this book, know even what this is about, because I don't, but I'm to understand that people do. They might love it, and so I will put it back into a little free library, maybe even the one from whence it came, and just feel at peace with that. So, there it is, my next week's weekend reading. It's really bright and colorful, and I really am going to appreciate that in these now sunshiny days. And I think there is just a wonderful amount of diversity in this reading selection, which will continue to keep me enthralled and engaged and enriched as a reader.